News 12, Chopper 12, providing live coverage high atop Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. All the parking spots are filled. River Avenue at 161st Street clogged with baseball fans and traffic for a 75th opening day here in the Bronx. The starting lineup is just being introduced now for the Oakland A's as the Yankees, for a second consecutive season, start on the West Coast and return home here to start against the West Coast teams they just faced. Power and Jason Giambi, Dave Magadan, Scott Spezio, who hit the Yankees up for a grand slam, is still to come. A.J. Hinch, Rafael Bornegal, and then warming up in the bullpen, the starting pitcher today, who's 1-0, victimizing the Yankees. That's Jimmy Haynes. George Steinbrenner has said he's going to make sure that the Yankees don't have to go through this again starting on the West Coast. For West Coast trips historically for East Coast teams, as you know, are extremely difficult. The Yankees come home 3-4. And now let's join Bob Shepard, who announces the Yankees for a 48th season.
1998 New York Yankees. The head trainer, Gene Monahan. Assistant trainer, Steve Donahue. Strength and conditioning coach, Jeff Mangold. Third base coach, Willie Randolph. Batting coach, Chris Chambliss. Bench coach, Don Zimmer. First base coach, Jose Cardenal. Pitching coach, Mel Stottlemyre. Bullpen coach, Tony Cloninger. And the non-starters, number 13, Willie Banks. Number 14, Hideki Irabu. Number 17, Dale Swain. Number 20, Jorge Posada. Number 22, Homer Bush. Number 26, Shane Spencer. Number 27, Graham Lloyd. Number 29, Mike Stanton. Number 31, Tim Raines. Number 33, David Wells. Number 40, Darren Holmes. Number 42, Mariano Rivera. Number 43, Jeff Nelson. Number 45, Chili Davis. Number 46, Andy Pettit. Number 52, Mike Buddy. Number 55, Ramiro Mendoza. And now the starting lineups, beginning with the manager, number 6, Joe Torre. At second base, number 11, Chuck Knobloch. At shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter. In right field, number 21, Paul O'Neill. In center field, number 51, Bernie Williams. base, number 24, Tino Martinez. The designated hitter, number 39, Darryl Strawberry. At third base, number 18, Scott Brocious. Catching, number 25, Joe Girardi. And warming up in the bullpen, number 36, David Cone.
And Bob Shepard forgot Chad Curtis, so why don't we just introduce him? He was like, okay, guys, I'll see you inside. I guess I'm not supposed to be part of that. Interesting, the fans, as they do in Los Angeles for Mike Piazza, make a statement to Bernie Williams about his financial thoughts for what he is worth. But a big cheer for Derek Jeter and Paul O'Neill. And now Bob Merrill is being introduced by Bob Shepard. And what would opening day be without this?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glow, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, Bob Merrill belts one out. David Cone is ready. The sun is shining, the grass is green, and the place is packed. It's time to say play ball. The home opener for the 75th anniversary of Yankee Stadium. Back in a moment.
Homecoming queens with a twinkle in their eye. R.C. Cola and the 4th of July. It's a choice we're given. It's a life we're living. Ride on the freedoms, clear blue sky.
It's as basic as red, white, and blue. The freedom to choose the taste that's right for you. It doesn't get more American than that. So be free. Drink RC.
In the wilds of the internet, connecting with the wrong service provider can leave even the most experienced net user frustrated and abandoned. Fortunately, there's a better way. BellAtlantic.net, a fast, dependable internet service from a communications giant you already know. Whether you're diving online with email, making a splash with your own web page, keeping up with local events, or shopping with Big Yellow, your yellow pages on the web, Bell Atlantic will launch you onto the internet with a helpful staff to guide you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Just dial 1-800-NET-5234. BellAtlantic.net, a door to the internet you never knew existed while things are happening. Bell Atlantic. We'll see you there.
Call 1-800-THE-DIME.
It is is the 75th April in a row that New York has made its way to the Bronx for the ongoing celebration of a great American tradition in sport. Since 1923, Yankee Stadium has been enlarged, then later changed and made smaller again. But the most special thing about this place is that Paul O'Neill can be in right field where Babe Ruth was. That's cool considering it's the house that he built. Today, a first pitch that says hello to a new season will go to a Yankee catcher standing near where Lou Gehrig said goodbye. When Bernie makes the catch, it will happen where Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle made it happen. And every time Derek Jeter slides, glides, and throws, he'll be dancing on what was once Phil Rizzuto's floor. Powerfully, the magic of it all will rub off on all of us, as it always has. Opening day at Yankee Stadium. It feels good to be back. MSG is the network of the most famous team in sport, and this is their most historic home, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Today, it's opening day 98. David Cone against Jimmy Haynes as David pitches on opening day, the 75th in the history of this great ballpark. The teams have been introduced. They forgot Chad Curtis. He said, I thought I was cut, but he's not. He'll be in left field. And for thoughts on what else we may see today, let's go to the booth. Jim Cott and Ken Singleton back together for another season.
All right, thanks a lot, Al. Yes, the emotions of the fans here at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees might need that. The harsh reality of this game, long West Coast trip, banquet last night, about 4 hours sleep. They're a tired group, but they're sending a guy to the mound. It's only happened twice in the last 30 years where a Yankee's been able to start back-to-back at home, and David Cone's looking forward to this.
He certainly is, particularly after his last start, which wasn't successful out on the coast against the Oakland A's. And David Cone will get the start this afternoon indeed. The veteran, he's the leader of the pitching staff. Out in Oakland, he pitched very well early in the ballgame. In fact, he had good location. But then it deserted him on a pitch to Scott Spezio. A grand slam home run broke it open for the A's as they went on to win the game 7-3. David Cone certainly looking forward to get back in the good graces of his teammates and certainly the Yankee fans.
You see what David Cone in his start last Saturday, just 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits. As you mentioned, he got roughed up, grand slammer by Scott Spezio. But last year on opening day against these same Oakland A's, even though the Yankees lost the ball game, he did pitch 7 innings of 2-hit baseball. And as he mentioned in our pregame show, he said this could be his last start as a Yankee in opening in Yankee Stadium, and he is pretty pumped for this.
Certainly he wants to make it a memorable one. I had talked to him previously out on the West Coast after he lost his start in Oakland, and David Cone's the type of guy like all great pitchers. If they have a bad outing, they can't wait to get back out onto the mound. In fact, he says he's kind of hard to live with for 3 or 4 days until he gets back out and a chance to redeem himself this afternoon against these very same Oakland A's.
Let's go down to Al Troutway.
All right, Jimmy, I've enjoyed watching the Yankees in the dugout. There is no doubt that they smile differently today. They're all enjoying it. This is when they can be little guys again. David Cone has just made his arrival to the Yankee dugout after warming up out in the Yankee bullpen. He's done all the high fives he needs. I thought it was interesting during the introductions that Mariano Rivera walked and winced a bit as he stepped out of the Yankee dugout to be introduced down the first base line. As you look into the Yankee dugout, there's David Cone. Derek Jeter received a huge ovation. Chili Davis, too. He had to walk out to the lineup. And I thought there were a few introductions. Jay Spencer, Mike Buddy, Homer Bush. There were a few. Who was that? Who was that again? Here amongst the crowd. But it's just about full at Yankee Stadium. And all the pageantry is complete. There's only one more element to come. And I think everyone knows what that is. For a 5th consecutive year, Joe DiMaggio is about to make his appearance on the field at Yankee Stadium, and what an integral part of its history is he is. The Yankees are on the field now, and David Cone takes what Jim and Kenny were just talking about. Could be. Who knows what his future holds. A final trip on an opening day to the Yankee Stadium pitching mound. It's been expected, the mound, by the way, for height, the quality of everything that goes out there, for the rain, by the umpires, all steamed, ready to go. And now let's go back to Bob Shepard.
Let's welcome the Yankee Clipper, the greatest living ball player, Jolting Joe DiMaggio.
Baseball lore, it was once believed that you weren't supposed to throw the ball to the catcher on a fly. You were supposed to bounce it so you didn't look as good as the players, but that is not Joe D's style. That was strike one. And coming up, it's pitch one of the Yankees' 1998 home season. Stay with us. We're live on MSG.
Hey, no, down here. Instead of running out for stamps, shouldn't you be running your business? Imagine a simpler way. Get the personal post office from Pitney Bowes. Send mail without ever going out for stamps. Just weigh, punch in the postage, and voila. Professionally metered mail and no wasted postage. You can also add a personal message to get your mail noticed. And postage refills by phone in 30 seconds, day or night. Now listen up, because here's what you'll get. Besides a lot more time.
You'll get the personal post office and money-saving electronic scale
So there's no wasted postage.
for a 90-day free trial.
Free is good.
You'll also get the Mail Marketer software.
Create really nifty direct mail to help your business grow.
Call now for your 90-day free trial, and you'll also get our Mail Marketer software absolutely free.
Now watch your business grow. Hey, I look good in red.
Call now and get all this for a 90-day free trial.
The personal post office, mailing made simple.
And you're looking at Yankee Stadium, the 75th anniversary of this venerable old ballpark, cathedral of baseball. I thought it was so neat, Kenny, to see David Cone actually take his glove off and clap for Joe D when he came out to throw out the first pitch. I mean, David is so aware of the history of Yankee Stadium, of what it means to be a Yankee. The harsh reality of the game of baseball at hand is that he has to get back on track after a tough start against these same Oakland Athletics. And let's take a quick look at the Oakland lineup. Ex-Yankee Ricky Henderson will lead it off, and Jason McDonald off to a good start. He's batting second. Ben Grieve, the rookie sensation, bats third. Matt Stairs, the DH. Then Jason Giambi, Dave Magadan, Scott Spezio, A.J. Hinch, the young catcher, Rafael Bornegal, bats ninth. 72 times, an all-time record most of you aware of. Ricky Henderson has led off the game with a home run. He is the career leader in stolen bases and 5th all-time in walks, so that tells you what kind of a challenge he presents for a pitcher. It's a ball and a strike.
I believe you could call Ricky Henderson the greatest leadoff hitter of all time from what he has done statistically.
Typical of Yankee fans, when he played here in the late 80s, they appreciated what he did between 85 and 89, but he was greeted with a chorus of boos since he now wears the opposing uniform. 2-1.
That's baseball.
Exactly. Popped up behind second. Knobloch and Jeter take a glance at one another. Now Knobloch's going to make the call, and a staggering catch with the swirling winds here at the stadium. Well, welcome to Yankee Stadium, Chuck. You'll have to get used to the pop-ups here. It's not like playing in the Metrodome.
Yeah, if we get a chance to check out the flags here at the stadium, the wind is swirling and it's blowing very hard. Some of the umpires, their pants were being flapped around in the wind, but Knobloch staggers underneath it and makes the catch. He looks at Jeter. Jeter called for it originally, but gives way to Knobloch, who will make the catch and then hit the turf.
There is the flag. We've talked often about the golden bat up above the top of the flagpole that tells you which direction, even though the flags are blowing toward right center, that wind swirling actually, I think, will help the ball carry toward left field. And it's a challenge of playing in the field in Yankee Stadium. It's quickly 2-0 to Jason McDonald. Art Howe's original starting lineup today, McDonald was not in there. The veteran Kevin Mitchell was, because it's the same lineup that defeated David Cone out on the West Coast, but a last-minute change, and now McDonald is back in. There's the Oakland skipper.
And you can see McDonald penciled into the second spot, and he's gotten off to a great start. We mentioned that on the West Coast that at one time he had been a second baseman and shifted to the outfield. Very rarely do you see it the other way around. An outfielder moved into the infield.
Exactly, yeah. Usually the skills are a little different to play the infield versus the outfield. Now it's 3-1. There's Andy Pettitte and one of the newest Yankees, young Shane Spencer, on the left of your screen. Another pop-up. Jeter behind second. As it measured, puts it away. 2 quick outs here in the Oakland first.
Let's check out the Yankees defensively behind David Cone this afternoon. Curtis in left, Williams in center, O'Neill in right. Around the infield, it's Brosius, Jeter, Knobloch, Martinez. Doing the catching is Joe Girardi, his first start in a while behind home plate. And there's Chad Curtis. What did Yogi Berra used to say? Gets late out there, or
gets late early.
Yeah, the other way around. That's because the outfielder in left field this time of year can have problems with the sun. Now, right now it's kind of partly cloudy, but the sun's been popping through from time to time, and you can see Chad Curtis is prepared. He has his sunglasses on. Now, it gets late early out there among the favorite Yogiisms.
A little trouble with the bag at second base is crew chief Larry Barnett. They want to make sure that that's mounted properly. Last night it appeared this game could be in jeopardy. Tremendous rains, and again, great credit to Bob Wilkinson and his crew. The teams actually took batting practice on the field today, which is a real sticking point with a lot of ball players. Paul O'Neill in particular. He hates to have a game where you can't take hitting on the field. I would imagine that's just to get the look of the baseball into the background.
And not only that, just get the feel of moving the ball around the field. When he works out, he's not trying to hit the ball over the wall like other players do. He's just trying to work the ball all around the field. And you get the feel of the flight of the ball after you hit it. And you can't do that inside, indoors, in the cage.
I mentioned the reality of this with the Yankees coming home. I mean, it's opening day. Everybody's pumped up, and the fans can say, hey, these guys are getting paid a lot of money. We don't care how much sleep they got, but they're going to replace second base.
That's the first stolen base here at Yankee Stadium this year.
Good call. The first of the year. And the umpiring crew today, that's the veteran crew chief Larry Barnett at second, then Ken Kaiser behind the plate. Greg Kosk at third and Ed Hickox at first. But the Yankees, after the West Coast trip, Wednesday's game, they got back about 7 in the morning. And then they had the welcome home dinner last night. So a lot of these guys are going on fumes right now. Not a lot of rest, but it's that rush you get from playing in the stadium on opening day that'll keep you going. Mel Stottlemyre, incidentally, he's talking right now with Joe Torre. Maybe a problem somebody might have on the finger, but speaking of Mel Stottlemyre, it was 30 years ago that he pitched a shutout on opening day. It does not happen very often that the Yankees open with a West Coast team. It's only the 3rd time in their history. Last year, the Oakland A's defeated them in 12 innings, and then 30 years ago, Mel shut out the Angels. And if we're accurate in our listening to George Steinbrenner's comments, that's enough of this opening on the West Coast. Let's get back and open at the stadium.
Well, first of all, for the fans who are watching on MSG, they're watching, staying up late to see the ball club play. And certainly that will cut into your work time the next day. Maybe they weren't quite as productive the next day if they sat up and watched some lengthy ball games on the West Coast.
And there's nothing like a Boston, New York, or a Baltimore, New York opening day. No disrespect for the West Coast teams, but opening day in Yankee Stadium is special. But when it's one of those old original teams, it adds to it. Here's the young phenom Ben Grieve as we're ready to go again. And after the long layoff, David Cone throws strike one.
Off to a pretty good start. 304, 160 runs batted in a year ago in the minor leagues, AA, AAA, and the majors.
Just inside, a ball and a strike. There's a scouting report on David Cone.
Classic opening day pitcher. Will make a pitch, any type of pitch for an out, and stamina. There's a good splitter right there.
And what I've noticed already is the pickup in the pace between pitches of David Cone. Of course, the will make a pitch for an out means he gets a little creative out there, whatever it takes. Slider, splitter, sidearm. Right back up the middle, off the glove and out of the reach of Jeter, and Ben Grieve has a 2-out single.
Ben Grieve hit a pretty good pitch. It wasn't quite as good as the splitter that he swung and missed the previous pitch, But that kid has a good idea of the strike zone. Doesn't trace too many bad pitches. And right now, we got another tough hitter coming up for the A's here. A guy had a good year last year. Not many at bats.
Matt Stairs still looking for his first home run. The A's only have 3 as a team. Giambi has a pair, and Scott Spezio, the grand slam off David Cone. That's in for a strike. Going back to David Cone's scouting report, the stamina with the question mark. And I think what David Cone is going to try to do this year is make use of those 100 to 105 pitches that he'll be on the mound and stretch him out over a longer period of time. His Cy Young year in '94, the strike shortened year when he won 16 games, that was one of the things he said about himself. He said, I have learned to get hitters out with 2 and 3 pitches. It keeps me in the ball game a little more. Back up the middle again, and Stairs has a base hit. Grieve will hold at second. 2 quick pop-ups, and now back-to-back singles for Oakland here in the first.
Here's a look at the base hit. Matt Stairs has all kinds of. Look at him wind up just almost as much as David Cone before he actually delivers the ball. And Matty Stairs with a base hit back through the middle. Originally, he was going to be in the outfield today. Every game that he has DH'd this year, he's had a hit. The only game he's been in the outfield, he went 0 for 4.
Probably went to Art Howe and said, I want a DH, and he's got his hit. Well, here's the Oakland answer now to Mark McGwire, since McGwire's playing for the Cardinals, and that's Jason Giambi. He is big. He is strong. He was influenced by Mark McGwire in his weightlifting training, and he has 2 home runs and 6 RBIs to start the year.
One of those home runs tied the ball game against the Yankees out on the West Coast.
And on the handle, and Cone quickly ahead, 0-2.
Of course, the Yankees rallied for 2 runs in the 10th to win that game, 9-7. That was the Yankees' first win of the year. This guy's more or less a line drive type hitter, but he did hit 20 home runs last year. Uses the whole field. I think as he gets more and more experience, you'll see him get nearer that 30 home run mark.
And the first 2-strike opportunity for the fans to get into the ball game, and David Cone rewards them with a 3-pitch strikeout. The A's strand a couple in the top of the first. The Yankees coming to bat when we come back on MSG.
Introducing Valley Sports Clubs, exclusive full-service fitness facilities designed for business professionals. Our sports clubs offer all the services and equipment that make Valley the most popular fitness corporation in America, plus special features like personal training and group fitness programs. There are already 5 Valley Sports Clubs open to accommodate New York business executives, plus more on the way. Become a Valley Sports Club member by paying only your first monthly payment at the time you join. Call 1-800-WORKOUT for information about our new Valley Sports Clubs.
He had the most beautiful swing. It was like nothing I had ever seen before.
He would practice all the time.
Broke every window in the neighborhood.
He went on to do things with physics I didn't think possible.
When you're using an American Express card, nothing's out of bounds. Boundaries for golf, not life.
How about Les Mis?
How about Phantom?
Well, I want to see Les Mis.
Well, I want to see Phantom!
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? By American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Center.
Sellout crowd, as you'd expect, at the stadium. The 75th anniversary of Yankee Stadium, and taking them out for Oakland, Jimmy Haynes, acquired from the Baltimore Orioles in the Geronimo Baroa trade late last year, and you see his numbers against the Yankees in his first start. Here's the Yankee lineup. Chuck Knobloch, the leadoff hitter, then Derek Jeter, Paul O'Neill, and Bernie Williams. Tino Martinez bats fifth. Darryl Strawberry is the DH. Chad Curtis, Scott Brocious, and Joe Girardi. And Chuck Knobloch's first at bat in Yankee Stadium in the pinstripes. Strike one. Jimmy Haynes at 6'3", 25 years old, out of LaGrange, Georgia. When he was with the Orioles, they talked about him being the next Jim Palmer.
You know, that's kind of unfair to put that kind of rap on a youngster. It's not a rap, it's a compliment, certainly. But you know, they said the same thing about Storm Davis in Baltimore previous to Jimmy Haynes, and that didn't work out. And when you look at it, fans, you have great pitchers like, say, like Jim Palmer. There's only one.
And you never see Palmer with a goatee.
Oh, no way.
Low for a ball. One of the things we're going to see from the Oakland pitchers, and we saw it in that 0-2 pitch, their new pitching coach, Rick Peterson, rather an unusual situation. Bob Cluck was fired about 4 days before the start of the season. Is that when they get ahead, Rick Peterson keeping the charts on the Oakland bench, and when the Oakland pitchers get ahead, there's a particular zone that he wants all of his pitchers to work to, and I thought it was very good advice. I had a chance to chat with Rick. He and I were in Pittsburgh camp together back in 1985 with the old Pirates. That just misses. Jeter waits on deck. In the air to right and hit fairly well. Grieve is there and puts it away on the warning track. One down.
Well, Chuck Knobloch hit a home run to lead off a ball game for the Yankees on the West Coast at Seattle. He had 13 lifetime, although he is one of the better leadoff hitters going around. Here is the defense for the A's today. Henderson, McDonald, and Grieve, Bornegal, Spezio, Magadan, Giambi, Hinch, and Haynes on the mound. Hinch has started every single game for the A's this year. The only other catcher who can say that in Major League Baseball is Mike Piazza of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So they're giving this youngster a good shot, and he has come through with the bat somewhat at his first hit in the major leagues against David Cone in Oakland.
Yeah, and he's got the help of veteran Mike McFarland being with him. In on the hands. And a quick strike. Again, going back to the pitching, and we're seeing it all over the major leagues this year because of the 12-second clock. I think you're seeing pitchers work at a little quicker pace, which is very good from a pitcher's standpoint, and the fielders behind them appreciate it.
I don't know if it is translated into shortening of the games as of yet,
but it makes for a better pace of play. Now there's a pitch right there is a perfect example of what Rick Peterson wants to get his pitchers to do. In on the hands, and it's good advice for all pitchers. They'll call this area right in here the triangle, right over the home plate area from about right in there. And he says, when you get ahead, you know, don't waste a pitch out here. Waste it in there. Let's see what Haynes does now with a count of 1 and 2. See if he doesn't try to come in right over the plate. That one caught a little too much of it, and Jeter slices it foul down the right field line.
Jeter has the ability to go the other way.
You see where this pitch was. Now, see, it's going to be in the strike zone where Derek can get a piece of the bat on the ball. You see, there's the outside corner right there. Ideally, they'd like to have that pitch somewhere down in this zone right here when you're ahead in the count.
Try and make the hitter to chase it, the illusion of a strike, make it look like a strike, but really not. And it's tough enough hitting strikes, let alone going out of the zone to get your hits.
And on the hands again. Well, you know from being a hitter, if the ball is way outside or way inside, you can react and take it. But if it's over the plate, within the confines of the corners of the plate, you'll get hitters to commit a little bit easier. Good pitch, misses. 2 and 2.
Haynes has good stuff. He's got a good fastball, An excellent curve. Chuck Knobloch found out he has a good pickoff move, picked him off twice out on the West Coast. It's Paul O'Neill on deck.
And on the hands and a very defensive swing by Derek Jeter. He fights that off and grounds out. 2 quick outs here in the Yankee first. Let's take a look at our New York Marriott pitching matchups in today's game. Jimmy Haynes, the tall right-hander for the Oakland A's, who defeated the Yankees in his first start back in Oakland, and then David Cone, and their lifetime records. That was Haynes' first career start, first win against the Yankees. David 4-3 in his career with the Yankees and the Blue Jays and the Royals against Oakland. And here's Paul O'Neill. Looks at ball 1.
Like all of the Yankee hitters started to warm up towards the end of the trip, and I think they got more back into a regular routine. Yankees had a chance to take extra batting practice at the Kingdome earlier. Of course, that's indoors, so you know you got a chance to hit. Joe Torre worked the ball club out. And the first night they did it in Seattle, nothing happened. They got shut out. The next night they came back, scored 13 runs. And the next day they won 4-3. So maybe starting to hit the ball a little bit better.
Ball at a strike. Now the second strike grounded toward first base. And Haynes, very impressive in his first inning of work. We've played one here on opening day, the 75th anniversary of this great old ballpark, and we're scoreless.
When it comes to renting a car, we believe there's only one place to go, National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Call National at 1-800-CAR-RENT.
Hey, you want more out of life? More of the good things. And with Select Checking from Provident, you can have it all. Like great discounts at restaurants, hotels, movie theaters, and theme parks. So you can get out and live a little. And we offer a low minimum balance, no monthly fees, and emergency cash advances for when you're really out there, baby. Yeah, you want it all, and Select Checking makes it possible.
All you need.
Don't you dread cleaning your gutters or paying someone else to? Now A&J Reliable guarantees that you'll never have to clean your gutters again. A&J Reliable will install the gutter topper over your existing gutters and guarantee maintenance-free gutters for years. The gutter topper, exclusively from A&J Reliable, will keep your gutters free of leaves and debris, prevent wood rot, flooding, or landscape damage from overflowing gutters. A&J Reliable and the gutter topper. Never clean your gutters again. Guaranteed.
With all the buyers, suppliers, and providers, how do you know which computer dealer can best service your needs? If you've been overwhelmed by lingo, jargon, and acronyms, stop, take a deep breath, and call Cyberdyne Microsystem. Cyberdyne Microsystem has the experience and knowledge you need when purchasing, upgrading, servicing, and learning about your new computer. Cyberdyne Microsystems are user-friendly, from kids to adults, and we provide 24-hour support. So for all your computer needs, take a deep breath and call Cyberdyne Microsystem, 1-888-572-2282.
Welcome back to the stadium. New York Yankee baseball is brought to you by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. A crisp, cool spring day at the stadium, and David Cone with a quick strike to his ex-teammate Dave Magadan. A pair of 35-year-olds that were teammates on the New York Mets a decade ago. And misses, a ball and a strike.
Magadan's hit well against the Yankees in his career. Had a big pinch hit out on the West Coast. Drove in a run. 444 lifetime against the Yankees. 16 for 36.
Fouled out of play. 1-2.
I've always liked him as a hitter because he's patient. He won't swing at many bad pitches. He uses the whole field. Occasionally he'll load up for some power, but I think he goes with what the pitcher gives him as well as anybody in the league.
Just off the edge. The trademark of an outstanding left-hand hitter, I always thought, and there was no better example than Keith Hernandez during his Mets days, and Don Mattingly right here. A left-hand hitter that can take the high fastball and hit down on top of it for line drives. That's over the inside edge, a perfect pitch by Cone. He's got back-to-back strikeouts, one down in the Oakland second.
You know what's unusual about this pitch? It's very similar to the pitch that Jason Giambi was struck out on. Good movement, but watch the call. Watch the call of Ken Kaiser. Watch the movement. The ball will kind of tail back over the inside corner. Maybe not that severe, but watch it as it comes into the picture here. Moving, and it's called strike.
Late movement and a quick strike.
Ken Kaiser's a left-hand. He's left-handed. He makes his strikeout calls with his left hand. Of course, you're supposed to throw that right hand up there. Kaiser, the veteran umpire, and one of the funniest guys you ever want to meet.
Too many falls in those wrestling matches he took during his amateur wrestling days, so he just uses that left arm. This is Scott Spezio, who touched up David Cone. That is his lone home run, and all 4 RBIs came on one swing against David Cone out in Oakland, a grand slammer. And David Cone quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Off the edge. I am so impressed with maybe it's the adrenaline, it's opening day, but I hope it continues for David Cone's sake and the Yankees with his upbeat tempo. He's not taking a lot of time between pitches. He's a lot more aggressive early in the count.
Got a nice, he and Joe Girardi have a nice rhythm going.
Unhappy with that pitch. He wanted to put Spezio away on the 1-2 pitch. Now the count is even. Full. That's good to hear those sounds and see the sights of baseball in the spring in the stadium. A.J. Hinch waiting on deck. And Spezio draws a 1-out walk after Cone got ahead in the count. 0-2.
Those are the things that kind of eat up your pitch totals, and you try and stay away from those 3-2 walks. You get ahead 0-2. It's time to put the guy away.
You can hear those sounds that Mario and his crew brings us. Great audio here at the stadium. David Cone having a little trouble finding the strike zone. A.J. Hinch will be 24 in about a month. He was drafted 3 times out of high school. He was a top-notch prospect. Then after his junior year, he decided to get his degree at Stanford before he signed. Late on that one.
Wasn't he about a 3rd-round draft pick, and then he decided to go back to school?
Yeah.
That's a pretty high draft pick. And
well, you figure if you're going to Stanford, you're pretty bright to begin with. And he said, I'm going to go ahead and graduate.
He certainly has to be happy now. The Cardinal ranked #1 in college baseball all season long.
Spezio back. And I'm sure that's going to be a concern of the A's. Are going to give him plenty of playing time, but he's late.
You can almost draw a circle around Joe Girardi's glove. That ball would have been right in there.
Yeah.
That's a good pitch from David Cone. Hinch got his first major league hit off Cone out on the West Coast, so you can always say I got a brand name pitcher.
And he got another one. A 1-2 fastball down and in, and Hinch takes it into left center. Spezio quickly to third base. So David Cone is getting ahead of the hitters. He's not able to polish them off.
Pitch was just about in the same area down and away. Watch him reach out and touch it. Nice little bit of hitting. That one maybe got too much of the plate. Not quite as far out on the outside corner as the previous pitch. And he makes David Cone pay with the base hit. Joe Girardi reaching back over the plate as Hinch comes up with the hit. It's a little tentative out there for the outfielders. Jim mentioned all of the rain. Well, they're going to have to watch their footing out there in the outfield.
And here's the #9 hitter, Rafael Bornegal. He's in there for his glove. The A's have high hopes for Miguel Tejada, one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He suffered a broken finger just before the start of the season. He's on the disabled list, so Bornegal's getting some playing time. That's in for a strike.
They also had Kurt Abbott, late of the Marlins, like many players, and but he's come up with a bad wrist, so he's out of there too. So 2 shortstops down, and it's up to Bornegal to hold the fort.
And the Yankees should be alert for a possible safety squeeze right here. Bornegal, not a powerful hitter. Late call by Ken Kaiser to protect Bornegal. Cone took a little too much time. Yeah, ball and a strike, first and third with 1 out, and a guy that can't really drive the ball. This is where Art Howe would try to pick up a quick run with that safety squeeze. Not on, and the pitch is on the edge, 1-2. So again, David Cone ahead in the count.
Yeah, the outfield is particularly shallow. Bernie Williams in center, Paul O'Neill in right. See Bernie stationed out in center field there, and he'll pan around over to Paul O'Neill. Very shallow.
There's Scott Spezio at third, the lead runner. And Bornegal loops it out into center. Another base hit on a 1-2 count. And the A's have gotten on the board first here. They lead it 1-0.
Now Bornegal certainly has to be happy with that base hit, talking it over with first base coach Gary Jones. But watch, ball kind of hangs up just a little bit. You know, that's like his Z swing, and it comes, you get the base hit on that one your first time up. You got to know that you're going to have a good day. Here it is. I mean, look how far he spent. All of his energy is spent, but just enough keeping those hands back, and he comes through with the base hit.
If you're David Cone right now, you got to say, what am I doing wrong? I mean, he's getting ahead of hitters, and that was, you know, a defensive swing. Bornegal just poked it out into center, but he's given up 4 hits and he's down 1 zip. And here's Ricky Henderson. And the breaking ball high for a ball. What Oakland has done is tried to get some stability on this ball club by bringing in a few veterans for Art Howe. They've got Ricky Henderson as a position player, Tom Candiotti, Kenny Rogers on the pitching staff. Ball and a strike.
Yeah, when you have players like McDonald, Grieve, Spezio, and Hinch in your lineup just about every day, you're going to need the veteran presence, because there are going to be some rough spots during the course of the season, and the veterans can help smooth that out.
High 2-1, and Ricky, a little conversation with himself, palm down, say, make him get it down, make him get it down. Of course, he hits out of that crouch, and he will just not chase anything above the belt. Three and 1.
I mentioned David Cone had his rhythm. Now he's a little bit out of it after giving up some tough 2-strike hits. You know, sometimes you try and throw it a little bit harder, and all of a sudden your mechanics are off, and your control is disabled for a while.
Good pitch right there, and the count's full. Gets frustrating. You give up what you think are hits on good pitches, and then all of a sudden, if you're a power pitcher, you say, I'm going to muscle my way out of it. There's your runners. Bornegal at first, and Hinch at second. They're not going, and Ricky swings at a sharp breaking ball, and Cone picks up another strikeout, and a big one here, the second out of the inning.
This might have been David's best breaking ball of the day. Well, actually, it's a fastball to the corner, isn't it? The way Ricky swung at it, it looked like it might have been a breaking ball, but no. It looked like he was looking for a breaking ball and got the heat.
Yeah, that yellow number 89 was the swing and a miss. I'm with you. I think Ricky was looking for a breaking ball and got fooled on that fastball. Here's McDonald with 2 on and 2 out. That's outside for a ball.
Now, Ricky's kind of taken Jason McDonald under his wing, and I think, Kitty, is former players, you can remember back when you were just coming up, there must have been some players that kind of smooth things over for you.
Camilo Pascual, an outstanding right-hand pitcher back in the early 60s. Johnny Klipstein, there's a name that some old Brooklyn Dodger fans will remember. Yeah, you got to have those veterans that have been through that stuff when times get a little tough.
For me, it was Cleon Jones, Tommy Agee, and I think Don Clendenin more than anybody else. You know, I wasn't playing very much, but when the club had lost a few in a row, he'd say, "Be ready."
3-0.
And almost invariably, my name was in the lineup the next day, like he was managing the team.
Yeah, they've been there before. They know how to handle it, and that's the blend of players that Oakland has. A 4-pitch walk. So David Cone is not getting as much out of this game as his stuff would indicate he should. I mean, his stuff, at least from up here, looks like it's crisp, it's sharp. He was getting ahead of hitters, and yet he is now used up about 44, 45 of the pitches. You figured Joe Torre would send him out there for a little over 100.
You'd also like to see him get through the first 2 innings with maybe half that, maybe a little more.
They're loaded for Ben Grieve. Sharply and out of the reach and not blocked. The A's are going to get 2 more. McDonald to third, and Ben Grieve has his second hit of the game and picks up a pair of RBIs. It's 3-0 Oakland.
Always felt that the pitch following a walk is the one thing a hitter should look for. And that one is right there for Grieve. Watch the classic swing. Everybody's talked about this young man's cut. He has a good balance, head right down, follows the ball through and hits it hard. Right past Knobloch and into the outfield. He's going to be a good hitter.
So that has quieted this opening day crowd a bit here in the second inning. And Matt Stairs steps in. It's in for a strike. A single in his first at bat. The A's have 5 hits and 3 runs. Ben Grieve, along with Father Tom, the first father-son combination to be the #1 draft picks overall. Some may remember Ben's father, Tom, who was a player with the old Washington Senators, general manager for years with the Rangers. Now he's one of their broadcasters. He was a #1 pick in 1996. Ben was the #1 in, or rather 66, and Ben a #1 pick in 94. Big swing, no contact, and it's 1-2. Actually, the #1 overall pick the year that Ben Grieve was drafted was the Mets' Paul Wilson.
Matt Stairs does not leave anything to chance when he swings the bat. He is really letting go.
McDonald at third, Grieve at first with 2 out. Hit well, right field. O'Neill on the run, can't get it. Misjudged it briefly, and the ball carried over his head. Grieve is being waved home. Jeter's throw is just a little late, and it's 5-0 Oakland on another 2-strike pitch.
Well, the fans getting a little unhappy now with the way things are turning out here in the second inning. This pitch again, kind of right in the middle, kind of tail right back to the middle of the plate. Joe Girardi was looking for it a little bit more over the inside corner. O'Neill back, leaps, and it one hops the wall. Looked like he had a bead on it, misjudged it somewhat, and then over the head. And 2 more runs score. Here it is on supervision. The pitch is towards right down the middle of the plate just about. I think they were looking to get it right over here, but not much break on it, only 2 inches. And Matt Stairs in a frozen rope to right.
So the A's now hitting .600, 3 for 5 with men in scoring position today, and that's a ball that Paul O'Neill usually catches. I think it's an indication of, again, the swirling winds at Yankee Stadium. Paul ran directly across and then had to retreat. Couldn't come up with it. Here's Giambi. That's high for a ball. So the A's now in just a little over 6 innings against David Cone have scored 12 runs. Amazing how that works. 2 years ago on his comeback after surgery, he pitched a no-hit ball for 7 innings. Last year here in the home opener, 2-hit ball for 7. That's a little wide, 2-1. And you can tell now the frustration. You want to make that curveball break a little bigger, throw the fastball a little harder, anything just to stop the bleeding and get out of the inning.
Giambi's the 9th man that Cone is facing here in the second.
2-2. Fouled out of play.
They have a saying, wild within the strike zone. Now he's throwing strikes, but they're being hit, and the reason is because they're getting too much of the plate. He's getting to the 2-strike point and maybe not getting it towards the corners as much when he's ahead on the count. That's why the A's have been countering on and getting some hits.
Off the edge, 3-2. That going back to Rick Peterson, the new Oakland pitching coach's comment. He said that's why with 2 strikes we really want our pitchers to try to hit that triangle down around the knees. Make sure it's a pitcher's pitch. In the air to center and hit well. Bertie Williams back and appears to have room, and he does. So the inning is over, but the damage is done as the Oakland A's come up with 5 runs on 4 hits against David Cone. We head to the Yankees second. They're in a 5-0 hole.
Connecting with the wrong internet provider can leave even the most experienced net user frustrated and abandoned. Now there's a better way. BellAtlantic.net, with access to Big Yellow, your Yellow pages on the web, and a helpful staff to guide you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Bell Atlantic can open doors to the internet you never knew existed. Wild things are happening. Bell Atlantic. We'll see you there.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
Somewhere between home white and road gray, there's chalk. Where chalk blends with clay, there's dust. And if you keep your eye dead center, where dust and ash converge, you'll strike an overpowering color called smoke. One of the colors between the colors created by Canon. Canon Laser Color. Its only competition is reality.
At Chase, your company is in good company, like Gourmet Garage, a member of Tom Seaver's Business Hall of Fame. Chase, the right relationship is